Jason is in love again. This time it's a young girl. Jason really likes her. The girl is very clingy. On my birthday, Jason came home to celebrate with me, which was rare. Before we finished blowing out the candles, his phone rang. He avoided me and went to the balcony to answer it. But I still heard him. Did you go home to be with that old hag? If you sleep with her tonight, we're breaking up. I mean it. Her spoiled voice carried a hint of arrogance. Jason didn't get angry. He patiently tried to calm her down. Jealous queen, I'll cut the cake and come be with you, okay? I bought the pink diamond you like. I'll give it to you later. She seemed to calm down and added sweetly. But you can't kiss her, okay? Jason seemed amused. All right, I won't even touch her. Is that good enough? I was amused by his response. Are mistresses these days so bold? After Jason hung up, I kindly handed him the pink diamond on the table. You took the wrong one. This was meant for her. He paused, then pulled out another box from his pocket. An emerald necklace. Your birthday gift. He could even get the gift wrong. Has he become so indifferent to me? Thanks. I took it without making a scene. He sure knows how to give gifts. Emerald green goes well with me. Maybe I've been too good. A strange emotion flashed in his eyes, soft. He leaned in, lowering his head to kiss me. I immediately blocked him with my hand. No, your girlfriend doesn't let you kiss me. His eyes darkened, and a hint of anger flashed across his face. He sat down on the sofa with a dramatic flourish. Soph, are you in a bad mood? Ha, he asked that so nicely. It was pretty funny. But I didn't have time to deal with him. I grabbed my phone and sent a message to his little girlfriend. Your man wants to spend time with me, so he might not be able to go out with you tonight. Soon enough, Jason's phone rang. Then he hurried out to go appease her. I exhaled. People always change. Back then, I was afraid he wouldn't come home. Now I'm afraid he'll stay home. It interferes with my dates. Jason and I got married because of love. But he was always a wild horse, wanting nothing but an open field. Over the years, his mistresses have come and gone, too numerous to count. At first, I couldn't accept it, crying and screaming, breaking things and hitting him. I even begged him humbly to cut ties with his mistresses and return to our family. But Jason just looked at me coldly. Joseph, stop making a scene. In our circle, who doesn't have a few women on the side? Mrs. Zhao is enough for you, isn't she? I laughed. If you're the husband, can I find a bunch of escorts on the side? Jason gritted his teeth and called me crazy. Joseph, go ahead and try. Try it, then. Of course, I didn't hire any escorts. I let it go. I wouldn't interfere in Jason's love life anymore. I became indifferent to his affairs, neither crying nor causing a scene, like a mute. He was quite satisfied. After getting drunk, he boasted to his bros, see? That's the kind of wife you should marry, a good one. That day, his bros had mixed expressions. Because, you see, I've been bad with all of them. Every time Jason started a relationship, I would secretly flirt with one of his bros behind his back. If he can cheat on me time and time again, don't blame me for weaving green hats for him. Especially the one sitting in the corner, the unattainable prince, Alexander, the eldest grandson of the Alexander family. The night before, when I was too tired to move a finger, he was still demanding, when are you going to make me official? Come on, say something. That's right, Alexander has been clingy lately. His jealousy is no less than Jason's little girlfriend. I opened the voice message. His voice was as intoxicating as a mojito. Soph, come out. I didn't respond. 3 seconds later, he sent another photo. His toned abs were neatly defined. Drops of water, still undried, trickled down the deep V-shaped lines on his abs and into my eyes. Sending me this photo. Isn't he just trying to get me to go out and deal with him? I can't be provoked. Once he provokes me, I get addicted. Same place as usual, a suite in a 5-star hotel. I stood outside the door for a while, but there was no movement. Oh, someone's upset. If you don't open the door, I'm leaving. I'm not going to spoil him. The door suddenly opened, and a hand with evenly spaced knuckles pulled me inside. Alexander looked pouty, wrapped up tightly, sitting on the sofa with a cold expression. What does it mean that you didn't reply to my message? His handsome profile made me soften my tone. He's at home, it's inconvenient. His eyelashes trembled lightly like raven feathers. Soft, divorce him. No. He paused for a moment, his eyes quickly turning red. Do you still love him? Then what about me? You know exactly what you are, but I dare not say it out loud. Alexander is the ice king of the business world, ruthless and decisive at the negotiating table. But whenever he's with me, he acts like a wronged child. And I can't help but fall for his adorable contrast. If you love him, why are you here with me? Just wait a little longer. I'm past the age of loving someone with all my heart. I have my own motives. By the end of the year, Jason's company is set to launch a 5-year project in the North Bay area. By then, his assets might multiply several times over. If I want to divorce him, I have to wait until I get a large share of the money before leaving. That's what I deserve. After all, during the toughest days of his startup, it was me who stayed with him in the basement and ate instant noodles. I used the same tactics Jason used to charm young girls on Alexander. I won't leave tonight. I'll stay with you. Be good. Alexander smiled, his eyes sparkling so brightly they almost blinded me. Yeah, I'm handsome and capable. There's no reason you shouldn't choose me. Men are childish until the day they die. After saying that, he gently took my hand and led me to undo his bathrobe. Come on, let me unwrap your gift. He's the expert at this. Faced with such beauty, my resistance crumbled. I think I finally understand Jason's happiness. Wildflowers are indeed more fragrant. But I know this is the kind of happiness that comes from moral decay. It can't see the light of day and isn't accepted by society. Soph, when will you make me official? Come on, say something. Soph, I really like you. What about you? Facing his sincere gaze, I couldn't respond. I touched his face. A rare flash of conscience, but not much. I just want it to end, but he's still thinking about a future with me. I'll just wait a little longer. Wait until he gets tired of our relationship and leaves on his own. Just like Jason, who once loved me passionately, but eventually grew tired and moved on. And people like them, rich second-generation kids. Who knows what's true and what's false? It's too easy to believe a man's words, and it always leads to trouble. The next day, I dragged myself home, feeling sore all over. Where were you? Jason was sitting on the living room sofa early in the morning, which was highly unusual. I paused for a moment and blurted out, "Can't I go downstairs to eat breakfast?" Jason glanced at me and suddenly stood up in front of me. His gaze was deep, and his voice was cool. Soph, where did the red marks on your neck come from? I thought of Alexander and my heart trembled. I got a fever, so I did some scraping therapy. It's from my hands. Jason glared at my neck with a vicious expression. He clearly didn't believe me. Because the kiss mark was too obvious. He clenched his teeth. Soph, you're cheating on me, aren't you? Who is he? I slammed my bedroom door shut. I almost hit his nose. Thankfully, we've been sleeping in separate rooms lately. Jason's fierce voice came through the door crack. Soph, if I find out you're seeing someone else, I'll kill him. It's Alexander. Go kill him yourself. I knew he wouldn't dare. After all, Alexander comes from a prominent family, and Jason couldn't match him. At most, they'd have a fight, and maybe that would finally end the messy relationship between me and Alexander. But to my surprise, Jason paused for 2 seconds before laughing coldly. Soph, you can't even lie properly. Alexander? What kind of person is he? Why would he want you? At that moment, for some reason, my heart felt like a plum soaked in cold water, cold and bitter. That was the contempt from the depths of Jason's heart. Just because he didn't cherish me, he could betray our marriage time and time again without a second thought. Actually, besides Alexander, I never took things to the final step with any of his rich second-generation bros. I tried. But it just didn't work. It was me. The worst time, I left the other person speechless. He looked at himself covered in stains, helplessly. I'm this handsome, and you actually threw up. I apologized to him. Sorry, I didn't throw up because you're handsome. It's my problem. I have emotional purity issues. I'm different from Jason. I just can't be as promiscuous as he is. Besides Alexander, that was just an accident. Jason, let's get a divorce. I can't take it anymore. Let's just end this sooner rather than later. Jason froze for a few seconds. Joseph, you should know I hate it when you throw tantrums. I really mean it. Don't regret this. Jason was certain I was just using divorce as a threat. But he didn't expect it. The showdown came so quickly. My unfortunate best friend is the new manager of a luxury hotel. He forced a discount coupon on me, letting me experience it for free. Alexander raised an eyebrow. I haven't tried it yet, take me with you. What I didn't expect was that Jason and his girlfriend also came. Just as they swiped their cards to enter room 817. I swiped open the door to room 818. Just a wall away, thinking about it was thrilling. So thrilling that Alexander pressed me against the wall and kissed me as soon as he entered. Wait, the neighbors will hear. He teased my earlobe with a lazy voice. Don't worry, the soundproofing here is decent. How did he know that? I narrowed my eyes. Who else have you been with? Alexander's eyes sparkled. Soph, are you jealous? I'm actually happy you're jealous for me. But don't worry, I've given all my stock to you. There's never been anyone else. After saying that, he buried his face in my neck and kissed me passionately. Alexander is definitely a bit of a romantic at heart. Back when I was flirting with him, he was so aloof. Sometimes I can't help but wonder if he was just putting on an act. The phone rang abruptly at that moment. The phone. Alexander reluctantly let go of me, his dazed eyes glaring at me. I glanced at my phone, my heart skipping a beat. It was Jason, his voice low and cold. Open the door. 10 seconds later, Jason's voice rang out again. Joseph, I have plenty of ways to make you open the door. It seemed that the sound I had accidentally made earlier had been heard by Jason next door. I knew him well, he was stubborn. And if this got out, it would be hard to explain to others. After all, he was with his girlfriend, and I was with my boyfriend, right next door. It just wasn't appropriate. I had no choice but to temporarily inconvenience Alexander. Why don't you go hide in the bathroom first? Alexander clung to me, refusing to move. Am I that embarrassing? I pressed my fingertips to my forehead. The person outside is my husband. Your current status is mistress. Do you understand? He refused to accept it. He's also with 3 women. Why does his 3 get to be so confident, while I have to be so humble? Wait, we're in this mess, and he's comparing himself to others? But it's true, Jason's girl is pretty confident. I felt a little guilty, I'd made him feel so weak. So I leaned down and bit his lips hard. But this is more exciting. 1 bite wasn't enough, so I bit him twice. Be good, he's just part of our game. Alexander's eyes lit up, and his lips, glistening with moisture, slowly curled upward. That's more like it. The young master finally obeyed and slowly walked into the bathroom. I opened the door, and Jason stood outside, his face as dark as ink. Where is he? That adulterer. Jason bit his lip, looked around, and tried to push the bathroom door, but it wouldn't budge. Fine, can you hide forever? This is my brother's company's hotel. 1 call, and the surveillance will be crystal clear. Joseph, you wait. I'll see who it is. Check it out. I've been here before. It's a surveillance blind spot. But sometimes plans don't go as expected. Jason called his brother. But Alexander's phone rang inside the bathroom. Jason glanced at me, hung up suspiciously, and the ringing stopped abruptly. He dialed again. The pleasant ringtone sounded again from the bathroom. At that moment, Jason's face turned as green as if the company's stock had crashed. Is that Alexander? Yeah. I really didn't know that this hotel was under Alexander's company. The bathroom door opened. Alexander walked out calmly and sat down on the sofa. His legs crossed, he looked as natural as if he were in a cafe, not caught in the act. Go ahead, which part of the surveillance footage do you want to see? Jason's Adam's apple bobbed several times. His gaze shifted between me and Alexander. He couldn't hold back any longer and swung his fist at Alexander. Alexander dodged it. His sharp gaze fixed on Jason, as if he could see right through him. You think you can hit me? Jason clenched his fist and then relaxed it. The veins on his neck bulged, and he grabbed me roughly. Let's talk this out at home. I had never seen Alexander exude such a menacing aura before. He stood up abruptly. If you have a problem with me, take it out on me. Don't touch sophomore. Jason seemed enraged. Mr. Alexander, show Soph is my wife. This is our family matter. Alexander snorted coldly, even if you have a marriage certificate, that's no reason for you to hurt her. I tried to calm Alexander with my eyes, don't worry, I'll be fine. I also have something to discuss with him. Alexander reluctantly calmed down. Just be careful not to do anything you shouldn't. Jason's face darkened further. Mind your own business. You're a third wheel with no sense of boundaries. Alexander's voice was icy. I'm already a third wheel. What sense of boundaries do I have? On the way back, Jason stepped on the gas pedal, making the car speed up rapidly. Jay, you're driving too fast. I'm scared. That's right, there was another person in the car, sitting in the passenger seat. She was the young girl Jason had been doting on lately, Lin Lu. Earlier, Lin Lu had been wearing a barely there spaghetti strap dress, her eyes red as she looked at Jason. Jason furrowed his brows, hesitated for a moment, then decided to bring her along too. I'll drop you off first. Jason acted like he was sick. The whole way there, he and Lin Lu exchanged glances, almost sparking sparks. He kept glancing at me through the rearview mirror. Would I be sad? No. Would I be angry? Probably not. It seems that when you don't love someone anymore, you don't feel anything. Soon, the car stopped in front of Lin Lu's building. I'll walk you up. Jason said this while looking straight into my eyes. It seemed like he wanted to see me get angry or jealous. I didn't care. It's fine. You can even take me to bed if you want. I'm not in a hurry. Take your time. A loud slam was the only response. I was so generous. What was there to be angry about? After walking 100 meters, Lin Lu hurried back in her high heels. Forgetting her lipstick was an excuse, she wanted to hurt me. Why don't you divorce him? Are you afraid no one will want you when you're old? You're 27 years old, you should be worried. But Jay loves me. Your jealousy won't work. I laughed at her bright, slightly foolish face. Wasn't she the one who called me an old hag on the phone last time? Always bringing up age. What, do you think you won't live past 27? If he likes you so much, why let you be the other woman? He really doesn't know what he's doing. By the way, I have a marriage certificate. Do you? If I divorce him, I can get a share of the property. If you get dumped, you won't get a single penny. Don't start acting so old and health conscious at your age. You're just full of green tea nonsense. Her face turned pale with anger. You. I quickly rolled up the car window. Almost caught her nose. The good thing about a nice car is the soundproofing. I sat in the car, blowing cold air, watching her stare at the window, her mouth moving. After a while, I lowered the window, cleared my ears, and said, "What did you say?" "Say it again." "You." I rolled up the window again. Better to drive someone else crazy than to suffer in silence. 2 hours later, Jason sat on the living room sofa with a cold expression. He lit a cigarette. "Soph, when did you start seeing him?" I thought carefully. I said calmly, "That time I went to the company to bring you a meal, you were sitting with Lin Lu on your lap, and you told her, I've been playing with you for 7 years, I'm tired of it." Jason's hand holding the cigarette trembled. A flash of panic crossed his eyes. He'll never know that when I left the company holding the lunchbox that day. I cried until my stomach cramped. I used to like Jason, really liked him. But after he got married, he used a dull knife to slowly cut open my heart, leaving a pool of blood on the ground. I had to save myself. Whatever way could make me happy, I'd take it. Forget about personal integrity, enjoy a morally bankrupt life. If you can't beat them, join them. From that day on, I started looking for his friends. I tried one after another. I rejected one after another until I met Alexander. He was too good-looking. The key was that he was both good-looking and useful, curing my emotional purity complex. Jason's voice drifted through the smoke. "Soph, break up with him. I've already broken up with Lin Lu. Let's start over." The inherent flaws of men. My affair partner was the top-tier man Alexander. Jason began reevaluating my worth. When I stayed home obediently, he found it boring and could hurt me freely. I laughed softly. "Jason, I've slept with you for 7 years. I'm tired of it." I returned those words to him. Jason froze for a moment, clenching his teeth, his eyes reddening. His voice was cold, like it was laced with ice. Joseph, if you really divorce him, do you think Alexander will marry you? With his background, he only marries someone of equal status. And he doesn't even know your damaged goods, right? You were with your stepfather. At that moment, I felt like my ears were ringing, and I couldn't hear anything else. I only knew one thing. The last remnants of my feelings for Jason had vanished completely. He snapped back to reality, a hint of regret flashing in his eyes. I'm sorry, sophomore. I shouldn't have said that. Only now did I understand why he had been cheating on me all along. On one hand, maybe it was because he was inherently promiscuous. On the other hand, it was the deep-seated contempt he harbored for me. Because you think I'm damaged goods, you cheat on me to make up for it? Soph. His Adam's apple bobbed as he reached out to hug me. Jason, you disgust me. Smack. It was the first time I had ever slapped him. I hit him with all my strength, leaving my palm numb. Jason's fair, delicate face was immediately marked by a red handprint. He froze for a moment. His eyes quickly filled with anger. I only touched you once, and you're already disgusted? Who touches you and you're not disgusted? Alexander? Joseph, snap out of it. Alexander is just playing with you. You're so pathetic, begging him to play with you. When a scumbag is manipulating you, there's no need to prove yourself. Jason, you're right. I'd rather throw myself at him than let you touch me. After saying that, I quickly walked into the room, closed the door, and locked it. Joseph, come out. Jason blocked the door, grinding his teeth. He kicked the door several times before finally calming down and slamming the door shut. I leaned weakly against the wall. Actually, I had subconsciously forgotten about that incident long ago. Today, Jason's words felt like an invisible, brutal hand. Without warning, it dragged me back into the dark tunnel of time. Mom, Uncle was looking at me strangely. Mom put down the little brother in her hands, her eyes filled with disgust. Whose fault is that? Why did you wear tight jeans? Why didn't you wear a skirt? If you dressed uglier, who would look at you? You're just a slut, begging to be seen. I clenched my fists, tasting the metallic taste of blood in my mouth. Her world only had stepdad and her newborn son, there was never a place for me. That afternoon, when Mom wasn't home, a scene straight out of a TV drama unfolded before me. I was on the living room floor, struggling and begging for mercy, utterly desperate. It was Jason who saved me. He saw me at my most vulnerable. My hair was a mess, and my shirt buttons were scattered everywhere. His warm, clean hands gripped mine tightly. Soph, don't be afraid. I'm here. No one can hurt you. There's no denying that he was once a ray of light in my life. And from that day on, I chose to leave Mom completely. No matter how much Mom cried and begged me to stay. I looked at her coldly. Why are you doing this? You're just begging me to come back so you can vent your frustrations on me. But Mom, you don't love me, do you? I'm just that stubborn. No turning back. But I underestimated Mom's hatred for me. She hated me so much she was willing to destroy me. In the hallway, she ran into Jason. She sneered at him. My daughter is what she is, her mother knows best. She's just putting on a show for you. She's been like this with me and my family for years. Mom's words planted a seed in Jason's heart. Over the years, it grew into a sharp thorn. Until the first time Jason and I were together. The sheets were clean and empty. That thorn pierced his heart completely. I shyly explained in a soft voice, I fell off my bike when I was learning to ride, so it's torn. Jason just hummed in response. Years later, I realized. He had never believed me. Not once. Any relationship without trust is doomed. Let's get a divorce. I'm serious. The screen lit up. Okay, when should we get married first? Oh, I sent it to the wrong person. I accidentally sent the message meant for Jason to Alexander. I sent it to the wrong person. It wasn't meant for you. Smart as he was, he knew exactly what it meant. It's not because of me, is it? Are you being bothered by my family life? This text is at least 80% sarcasm. Don't be upset. Let's talk it out. Have a good chat with him. Have you decided when to get divorced? Tomorrow is Friday, which is pretty convenient. After the weekend, we'll have to wait 2 more days until Monday. I'm not in a hurry. Just a little bit. I chuckled, but he was the one getting anxious. Soph, I want to see you. His voice was low and smooth, tempting me. But I don't want to. I was really tired today. Then I'll chat with sophomore. After 2 hours of casual chat, I grew bored. What's the point of just chatting? Take off your clothes so I can see. He laughed at me. All right, you wait. Then the screen went black. After 10 minutes, he finally turned it back on. His hands crossed under his shirt, slowly lifting it up. When his abs were revealed, I instantly perked up. Take off your pants so I can see. No, unless you come in person. I laughed, pretending to be shy. If you can show up in 5 minutes, I'll come see you. Playing games, huh? I can do that too. He lives in the southern part of the city, and I'm in the eastern part. Driving at 120 kilometers per hour, it would take him an hour. But 3 minutes later, I received a call from Alexander. Come downstairs, sophomore. My heart skipped a beat. I pulled back the curtains, and there was a Maybach parked below. It was the car Alexander usually drove. Alexander, have you been waiting downstairs for half the night? Not really. I went to a nearby hotel to change. No wonder the screen had been black for 10 minutes. I wanted to be there the moment you wanted to see me. A warm wave washed over me. I didn't even have time to change my shoes. Still in my pajamas and slippers, I rushed downstairs. On a cool night, I rushed into a warm embrace. He tightened his arms around my waist. Soph, leave him and come with me. His beautiful phoenix-like eyes stared at me quietly. At that moment, I believed the sincerity in his eyes wouldn't deceive me. But whether his words were true, I didn't know. Alexander, tell me, can your family accept me like this? Under the moonlight, our gazes were clear. Alexander's eyes flickered imperceptibly. I saw it. I'm not a teenager anymore. I understood what it meant. Alexander's eyelashes trembled slightly. Soph, give me time. I'll handle it. I smiled at him. Then come find me once you've handled it. Anyway, I didn't lose anything in this relationship. I didn't spend a single penny, and I even got to enjoy his company for a while. Men are like that. There's always another one who'll be more obedient. I wrapped my coat tightly around me and turned to go upstairs. Alexander stood downstairs all night. Jason didn't come back until the next day at noon. Surprisingly, he was carrying a bag of groceries. It didn't match the expensive custom-made suit he was wearing. He acted as if nothing had happened and smiled at me. Soph, would you like me to make your favorite tomato shrimp? Jason, let's get a divorce. Soph, do you want it sweet or sour? Jason, I don't want the shrimp, and I want the divorce. Soph, I can make the shrimp, and I won't divorce you. Fine, let him keep hoping. Only then did I notice his expression. He looked exhausted, as if he had stayed up all night. Don't stare at me. You kept me awake all night. Oh, so even though we both stayed up late, people are different. Why did Alexander also have a sleepless night? I was so tired, but he was as energetic as if he had been rejuvenated. He stood by the bed, slowly buttoning his shirt while kissing me awake. Stop, what am I doing? Thinking about that. I covered my head and walked away. Jason froze for a moment before turning into the kitchen to cook lunch. I took a bath and applied some makeup. The table was already set with 4 dishes and a soup. Jason hadn't cooked in a while, so it was a bit rusty, but the dishes looked decent. Tomato sauce shrimp, garlic pork ribs, blanched okra. Soph, these are all your favorites. Eat some. I'm not hungry. I have to go out. Jason's eyes darkened instantly. I cooked for a long time. He held up his finger. Look, I burned myself. Don't even mention the burns. Even if you'd been scalded to death, it wouldn't matter to me now. Jason, when you were out partying and dating other women, how many meals did I wait for you to come home for? Have you ever counted? Soph, All he heard in response was the loud slam of the door. Jason once again tried to be affectionate toward me. It was as if we were back in the early days of our relationship. He sent me flowers, picked me up from the art studio after work, and cooked dinner for me. He gave me all sorts of expensive jewelry. When I came home at night, Jason was completely drunk. He was being supported home by his friends. He kept shouting, "Sophomore. Sis, You're finally back. Brother Che is demanding to see you. No one can see him. After everyone had left, I kicked him with my foot. Stop pretending. You're not really drunk like this. Jason rubbed his temples. Soph, you really understand me. Soph, I was wrong before. Can we start over? I'll be good to you. If I were a soft-hearted girl, I might have agreed. Then we'd have a few days of sweetness. And then we'd go back to our old life. Remember, when it comes to men cheating, it's either 0 times or 100 times. Jason, we should have ended this a long time ago. It's just my stubbornness that kept me going until now. He stared at me blankly. Soph, you've really fallen for Alexander, haven't you? He clenched his teeth, his face darkening. Soph, I'll prove to you that Alexander isn't right for you. 3 days later, I was summoned to a top-tier private room to eavesdrop. The door was left ajar. It was clearly left open for me. Through the crack, I could see prominent figures from the South Bay Business District. Seated at the head was Alexander, the patriarch of the Alexander family, a familiar face in the city's financial news. Today was a family gathering, with no media present. The topics discussed among these wealthy individuals were far more sharp and pragmatic than the average person could imagine. Watch your words. I hear you're involved with a married woman. All eyes turned to Alexander. Especially Jason, whose lips curled into a barely perceptible sneer. I wasn't that naive. It wasn't hard to guess that Jason had orchestrated the question. It said that Mr. Gu is a tyrant, treating his grandchildren with extreme rigor. They can do as they please outside the family, but when it comes to matters involving the family's interests, the grandchildren have no say. After all, Alexander isn't the only one who can inherit the family business. Alex, what's going on? Alexander, who had been casually chatting earlier, couldn't help but lift his head. He gave a light laugh. It's just a bit of fun. I had already anticipated this in my mind. But hearing it with my own ears, my heart still tightened uncontrollably. Alexander had exceptionally handsome features. Even when saying harsh words, his face remained lazy and relaxed. Once you're bored, you'll naturally let go. Someone without a family background and from a second marriage, how could they possibly be worthy of entering the Alexander family? Mr. Gu took a sip of tea, his expression serene. Jason's lips curled up slightly. I guessed he was eager to see my disappointed and sad expression. It would prove how right his advice had been. Alexander cleared his throat again, as if speaking to Jason. But this kind of woman has her advantages. She's sincere and easy to please. You can marry her and keep her at home without needing to treat her sincerely. A man can still have his affairs on the side. Isn't that a veiled reference to my past? Mr. Jason, do you think I'm right? Jason hesitated, his expression growing grim. Then came the sound of a chair being pulled back. Alexander stood up, loosening the button on his collar with one hand. Those words just now were what Grandpa and Jason wanted to hear, right? Saying such harsh things, I feel like slapping myself. Men who disrespect women will suffer all their lives. So, when eavesdropping, you must listen until the end. These days, everything has a twist. Alexander chuckled. Take my father, for example. He betrayed my mother, so he died young. Speaking of which, Mr. Jason, you deserve to lose the best wife. Mr. Goose slammed the table. You're giving up your career for a woman? If you want to be with that woman, you can forget about the Alexander family. Alexander slipped his hands into his pockets, grabbed his suit jacket, and started walking out. A career can be rebuilt. But a wife is gone forever. I'm leaving. This meal isn't to my taste. You all eat slowly. I'm off to eat soft food. Everyone looked at each other in shock. Alexander was about to leave. I hurried toward the stairwell. At the corner, a hand grabbed me tightly. Sophomore. You heard everything and just want to leave? Alexander buried his head in my neck. Soph, I have nothing left. Can you take care of me? Oh, so he came here to leech off me. Soph, won't you take me in? I don't eat much, and I'm hard-working. He emphasized the last word. My ears couldn't help but burn. Want to inspect the goods? Ah, no need. You've already tried it out multiple times before. It's just freeloading. Soph, you have to pay now. This guy's mouth. Hey, Are you really so love-struck that you're willing to give up your inheritance to the Alexander family? He raised his eyebrows slightly. Didn't you hear me just now? I said give me time, I'll handle it. You just don't believe me. His eyebrows and eyes looked so pitiful. But his arms were tightly wrapped around me. The corners of my mouth curled up slightly. All right, let's go rent an apartment first. Alexander's eyes sparkled, and his smile was bright. You didn't talk to me for days, I was so upset. Where does it hurt? He grabbed my hand and placed it on. Everywhere. I shouldn't have asked. Soph, you have to make it up to me. Another sleepless night. Being too capable isn't always a good thing. When I handed the divorce agreement to Jason, he pressed his temples. Are you sure you want to do this? Even if he has nothing left? Jason was referring to Alexander behind me. He was there to ensure the divorce was finalized. Since leaving the Alexander family, Alexander had become increasingly relaxed and shameless. He crossed his legs and sat comfortably on the sofa in someone else's office. He even had Jason's assistant brew him a cup of hand-ground coffee. I'm not completely without anything. At least I still have sophomore. His eyes sparkled with pride. Jason's face turned ashen, and he stood up. He was seething inside. He had planned to use this meal to make me see Alexander's true colors. But Alexander had done the opposite. Instead, he had brought us closer together. He was furious. You're letting a woman support you, and you're proud of it? Do you have any dignity? Alexander took a sip of his coffee. Why do I need dignity? I have a wife. You don't understand. Eating soft rice can be pretty happy too. I've never seen someone eat soft rice with such confidence. Today was an eye-opener. Jason gave me a dark look. Soph, since you're so determined, this marriage has to end. Fine, if you ever need help, come back to me. I'll always wait for you. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Alexander was unhappy. He wrapped his arm around me and led me outside. What are you looking for? You're clearly up to no good. A qualified ex-husband should be as quiet as the dead. Jason smashed a cup in his office. Jason finally gave in. On the day I received the divorce certificate, I exhaled deeply and carried a bouquet of my favorite lilies home. Just as I reached the front door, a figure flashed by. Soph, you're back. Mom's been waiting for you for so long. Looking at this unfamiliar yet familiar middle-aged woman, my scalp tingled slightly. Your uncle was arrested. Someone falsely accused him of molesting a young girl. That little girl didn't look proper either. Your brother gambled and borrowed money from loan sharks. They're holding him hostage, saying he has to cut off his fingers if he doesn't pay back the money. Your brother is young and doesn't know any better. It's all those people's fault. I struggled to suppress the anger rising in my chest. But I couldn't hold it in anymore. Mom, can't you just stop? Everything is someone else's fault. Your husband and son are innocent. Mom's eyes widened. You ungrateful girl. How dare you speak to me like that? That's your stepfather and your own brother. What are you going to do to save them? Who told you I live here? Jason, such a good husband, and you don't want him. You're still keeping that boy toy. I pressed my fingertips against my temples. Stop. It's my business. Don't worry about it. Besides, I'm telling you clearly, they can't be saved. They made mistakes, and they deserve their punishment. Mom was furious, her face contorted with anger. She angrily reached out her hand, then give me some money. I laughed. Mom, the money I gave you years ago is enough for your retirement. It's gone now. I'm not your endless ATM. You ungrateful brat, just wait and see. Mom stormed off, muttering curses. Alexander came back shortly after. He picked me up and placed me on the rocking chair on the balcony. He then brewed me a cup of rose tea. Lately, he's become increasingly skilled at taking care of me. Did you hear that? He nodded in acknowledgement. Soph, if your original family brings you endless negativity, then have the courage to cut ties with your original family. Remember, this is not something to be ashamed of. Alexander understands me. These were also my thoughts. Alexander, then I might not have any family left. He kissed my forehead. Don't be afraid, you still have me. I underestimated Mom's madness. On Monday, when Alexander was taking me to the art studio for work, There was a woman on the rooftop about to jump. She was holding a megaphone and shouting non-stop. A crowd had gathered on the first floor. Everyone looked at me with various expressions. My daughter is the director of this institution, Jo Sophomore. Jo Soph has poor moral character, has lost her morality, and has cheated on her husband before even getting divorced. Can you trust her to teach your children? She's been involved with her stepfather since she was a child. The sun was shining directly on me, making me feel dizzy. I couldn't stand steadily, and my back was soaked in cold sweat. The woman standing on the rooftop was my own mother. She had tried to ruin me time and time again. Alexander pulled me into his arms and covered my ears. Soph, don't listen. It's not your fault. He pulled out his phone with one hand, his expression solemn. Yes, call the police. Send 2 officers immediately. Bring her down and tape her mouth shut if necessary. The commotion was finally calmed down under Alexander's coordination. Soph, she's your mom. How do you want to handle this? My nails dug into my flesh. The rusty taste from when I was 16 came back to my mouth. My mom is emotionally unstable and mentally ill. She needs long-term hospitalization for intensive treatment. The last time I saw her, a look of fear flashed in Mom's eyes. I'm your mom. I don't want to stay here. But Mom, you've never treated me like your own daughter, have you? Love is a two-way street. Mom, you don't love me. Then I won't love you either. Don't worry, I'll provide your treatment fees consistently. Mom collapsed to the ground. I rushed into Jason's office. I wanted to slap him hard. How dare he say this wasn't his doing? Using the thing I fear most to attack me and humiliate me. When I'm truly at my lowest, making me depend on him again. Disgraceful. I just didn't expect someone to act first. Alexander calmly put on his watch and buttoned his cuffs. He gently wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth with his thumb. His entire appearance had a broken beauty, utterly captivating. Fighting and still trying to seduce someone. Soph, you're here. Jason. He's fine, just a little lesson. Jason on the ground was a mess, and it was far from a little lesson. His clothes were torn, his lips were split, and his face was bruised and swollen, not a single inch of skin untouched. But it looked satisfying. Alexander snorted coldly. A useless man would attack a woman with chastity. I've always belonged to Soph alone. Do you? You're just a rotten cucumber. Where do you get off feeling so superior? You've cheated on her time and time again. You even tried to use Soph's family to ruin her career. Don't you understand? A man who ruins a woman's career will be struck by lightning. Jason's eyes were shattered. Soph. Soph, I'm in pain. He clutched his chest in agony. Once upon a time, whenever he cried out in pain, would comfort him, soothe him, and rub his chest. But that was all in the past. Soph, look at me. I'm really sick. He tremblingly pulled out a cancer diagnosis report. I met his pleading gaze. Every word was clear. Jason, you deserve it. Jason's face turned ashen, his eyes dimmed, and there was no trace of light left. Soph, I'm dizzy. Hurry, take me to the emergency room. Alexander looked like he was about to faint, startling me. After some tests. The doctor hesitated, then finally said. It could be phantom pain. They told us to take him home to rest. I understood. Alexander seemed to have gotten into it. Every day, it was either this pain or that pain. He either wanted me to peel grapes for him or rub his back. While rubbing, things often got heated. Alexander, you need to control yourself. I don't have any money left. This is the only use I have. If I don't make the most of it, you'll abandon me. He sounded so pitiful. The corners of his eyes were red. In the days that followed, it got even worse. He didn't even cook. He had no sense of being taken care of. He spent all day sighing in front of me. Soph, I can't cook at all. What's going on with you? He sounded so wronged. I go in and out of your house every day, buying groceries without any status. Everyone at the market points and whispers about me. They say such horrible things, calling me immoral, saying I'm the one begging, a dog begging for scraps. I can't even sleep properly, afraid they'll dig up the dirt about how I once slept with someone for love. I was speechless. Just say it, what do you want? We've been living together for so long, and you haven't even mentioned getting married. Are you just waiting for the chance to lift your skirt and run away? I slammed the notebook shut. Fine, we'll go get married next Monday. But he was still dragging his feet. What's wrong now? Isn't that good enough? Can we go tomorrow? Please, I really can't wait until next Monday. I gritted my teeth. Fine. Humming a tune, I happily went out to buy groceries with my shopping basket. A few minutes later, I heard him greeting the neighbors. The weather's nice today. Hey, did you hear I'm getting married tomorrow? By midnight, everyone in the neighborhood knew. Did you hear? The resident in Unit 603 is getting married tomorrow. After the wedding. I realized. Men's promises are indeed untrustworthy. I picked a villa by the stream as our wedding home. Does Soph like it? Wait, weren't you kicked out of the Alexander family? Did you become penniless? Yes, but I didn't say I have no money. Don't worry, I still have some businesses overseas, all in my name. It's enough to support my wife. Total assets are. My face fell. Alexander, you're lying to me too. Most of it has been transferred to Soph's name as part of the divorce proceedings, as her dowry. I rubbed my nose. Oh, it's okay to lie sometimes. Later, Alexander pinned me down on the bed. Over and over again. Soph, say something, huh? Do you love me or the money, huh? What a seductive creature. Even the trailing, huh, was so alluring. Only children make choices. I want both money and you.